Hi, sixth graders. I'm going to go over the Google form that you guys completed yesterday on evaluating expressions with fractions. What I'm going to suggest right now is that you get a scrap piece of paper and complete these problems with me. I know you've already done them, but you might have gotten them incorrect, and it's nice to kind of do the problem again the correct way. So if you want to get a scrap piece of paper and a pencil and do these problems with me, I would highly suggest it. All right, so the first one is 12 divided by y minus 1. And it says solve this or evaluate it for when y equals 6/7. All right, so for this problem, well, they're saying y equals 6/7, so we can plug in 6/7 in for y. So we get 12 divided by 6/7 minus 1. Now on the side, I'm going to do my little order of operations so I know the rules to follow when I am solving this problem. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division left to right, addition and subtraction left to right. So I see division and subtraction. Well, I'm going to do the division first. So dividing with a fraction, I'm going to keep, change, flip. So I'm going to put this 12 over 1 just for me. So I'm going to keep the 12 over 1, change the division to multiplication, flip 6/7 to 7/6. All right, so now 12 times 7 is, now actually I'm going to keep that and I'm just going to bring down the minus 1. So now I'm going to solve this. So 12 times 7 is 84. 1 times 6 is 6. And then bring down that minus 1. Now before subtracting 1, I would probably simplify 84 over 6. So let's do a little division. 6 goes into 8 once, and we get 6. We subtract, we get 2. Bring down the 4. 6 goes into 24 4 times. Exactly. So our answer is 14. So this is actually 14. 14 minus 1, oh, 13. All right, so just make sure, all we had to do were just 2 steps in that. We had to do keep, change, flip, and we had to just simplify our fraction, and it actually ended up being a whole number. And then we just did 14 minus 1, and we got 13. That was the first problem. All right, let's look at the second problem. It was just t divided by 10, and they said evaluate this when t equals 5/6. So all you did for this problem, you plugged in 5/6 in for t. So you rewrote it as 5/6 divided by 10, and you did keep, because I have a division sign and a fraction in my expression, so I always keep, change, flip. It's 5/6 times. Now in order to, again, flip this, we want to put the whole number over a 1, and now we can easily flip it. So 5/6 times 1/10. So now we multiply straight across, and we get 5/60ths. But I know I can simplify this, okay? Because 5 can go into both of these numbers. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 60 divided by 5 is 12. So it's really important to know your basic facts, boys and girls, because I could did that in my head easily, because I knew that 5 goes into 60 12 times. So your answer for that one is 1/12. All right, let's look at the next one. The next one is a little bit of a doozy. X squared plus 3x minus 3/4. All right, so it says solve this or evaluate this when x equals half. So the first thing we need to do is plug in x. We're plugging half in for x here and half in for x there. So let's rewrite that problem. We have half squared plus 3, and again, when 3 and a variable are smushed next to each other, it stands for multiplication. So 3 times half minus 3/4. All right, so we talked about this yesterday. This squared does not mean that you're multiplying by 2. A lot of people answered that it did. Remember, guys, when we're squaring something, it does not mean multiplying by 2. It means multiplying that base by itself 2 times. So basically, this is saying half times half, which we know is 1/4. So we can even simplify this to 1/4. And that's parentheses and exponents, so it makes sense that we're doing that in the beginning. Plus, and then we can solve this, because this is multiplication, and it's also a little bit of parentheses too. So 3 times half, if you know that in your head, or you can just multiply straight across, put that 3 over 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. So we get 3 over 2 minus 3/4. Now for this problem, I'm not even going to simplify that just yet because I'm going to keep it like that. In order to find, when we add and subtract, we need to find common denominators. So I see 4. Well, I got to get that 2 of 4. Well, it's pretty easy. I multiply top and bottom by 2. So our expression now looks like 1/4 plus 6 over 4 minus 3/4. And again, if we just have addition and subtraction, we can go left to right. So 1/4 plus 6/4 is 7/4 minus 3/4. 7/4 minus 3/4 is 4/4, which is exactly the same as 1. Now again, that problem is very long. You have to take your time. All right, it's long, but all of the procedures are things that we've done so many times. So nothing is new. It's just that you need to just have patience when you're doing problems like this. All right, so that's the